is what I claim ain't a goddamn thing changed.
Introduction. My life happened so fast. 1 minute, I'm in the hospital depressed, and the next minute I'm at James Prince's ranch recording an album with a bunch of motherfuckers I hardly know. 1 minute, I ain't got a dime in my pocket. The next minute I'm buying houses and cars on fucking credit cards. 1 minute, I'm just another nigga with no father from the south side of Houston, Texas. The next minute, motherfuckers are calling me the godfather of southern rap. Whatever that means. I came from the least of the least, and I've had the most of the most, but more than anything, I am you. If you don't know me, or my career, or who I am or what I've done, that's what I tell you. I am you. I'm the way you think and the way you feel, the things you've seen and loved and the things you've seen that you can never unsee. I'm your hopes and your fears, the quiet, dark moments that house the secrets that you hold tight deep at night, and the loud public moments that grip and rip your block in broad daylight. I'm the pain and the progress, the sadness and the celebration, the dream and the nightmare. I am you. I am your voice. I am the voice of the streets. I'm Brad. I'm Face. I am Brother Mob. I'm Scarface. I gave my life to this game. I'm the realest who's ever done it. I am the truth. And this is my story, Part 1, South Side, Chapter 1, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Looking back, I think I just wanted the attention. I see that now. But back then, I felt like attention was the last thing I wanted. I wouldn't have been able to tell you if it was any one specific thing that had pushed me to that point. I just know that I was mad. Mad and sad. And I know that I felt like no one wanted me. My daddy was dead and my mama didn't want me. I didn't really get along with my stepdad, and my grandma already had 9 kids of her own. So, there wasn't really a place for me at her house either. I just felt like I couldn't do shit right, and the only way I could get any attention was by fucking up. No one would come to watch me play football or check out my baseball games or any shit like that. But as soon as I popped some kid in the face or busted somebody's head open in class, everyone was there, telling me how I was fucked up for what I'd done, trying to take away my privileges and shit like that. That was the attention I was getting, for being a fuck up. I was always being punished or outcast from the rest of the family because of some shit I had done, so every conversation at home was like, "Oh, you know they caught him with some weed, huh?" Or, "You know he was back there selling dope?" Or, "You know he got an F on his report card?" Or, "You know he hit that boy in the head with that baseball bat?" There was just always some kind of fucked up shit going on with me. And by the time I was 13, I was over it. I felt like everyone, my teachers, my classmates, the other parents in the neighborhood, my own family, was mad at me and on some fuck you shit. So to me it was like, fuck you too then, shit. You don't have to tell me twice. I would spend a lot of time alone. I'd go in my room at my mom's house and not come out for weeks, just trying to find me. And I didn't always like what I found. I was raised with the idea that I was born dying, that with every breath you take, you get closer to your last. It's something I've always known. So my mentality, even back then, was always, what's the worst that could happen? That I could die or be killed. But I'm born dying, so death is inevitable. Why should I be scared of that? So being alone just gave me something to really think about. And with shit going so wrong for me then, and with me constantly feeling like everything was fucked and I couldn't do anything right, the conclusion I came to was that I might as well just get it over with, fuck it. I don't remember too much about that particular day, but I know I was ready for it to be done. I was ready to get up out this bitch. So I went in my mother's medicine cabinet and took all of her blood pressure medication, as much as I could find. I woke up on the bathroom floor with the ambulance parked outside, and the paramedics trying to get me up and out the door. They took me to the hospital and gave me this stuff, Ipecac, to clean out my stomach. I spent the whole next day puking my guts out. It was disgusting. I thought that shit was gonna kill me. It was like, damn, you brought me all the way here to do me in like this? You could have just left me on the floor and saved everyone a hell of a lot of trouble. I could have gone out easily. Shit. But of course, the ipecac didn't kill me. It probably saved my life. Once they knew my stomach was clear of all of the pills and I wasn't going to die, they let me go. But then, the next day, my mama brought me back. I thought we were going for a follow-up or a checkup or some shit, but then she just left me there, dropped me off on the mental health floor of Houston International Hospital, and that became my life. See, it wasn't like that was the first time I tried to kill myself. I'd been trying to take my own life for years. You name it, I tried it. Slitting my wrists with a box cutter and bleeding out all over the bathroom floor, putting loaded guns to my head, all of that shit. If you'd asked me then, I'd have told you straight up. I was ready to go, but I never did it. I never cut myself deep enough or far enough away from my family to be left alone and die. I never pulled the trigger, I never went all the way. That's why I say that I think I really just wanted the attention. If you really want to go, the dying is the easy part. It's the living that's hard. That shit takes a lifetime, and it will test you every step of the way. Chapter 2. The foundation. I come from a prominent family of musicians and artists. The music is in my blood. My mama was a singer, Omazelle, named after my grandfather's girlfriend. How deep is that? She worked as an accountant at a hospital for over 20 years, but she was a singer before all of that. At one point, she even had a group, the Watermelons, with her sister Marva and her brother Wayne. My father was Blush Jordan, but I never knew him. He left when I was young and he was shot dead not too long after that. My stepdad, Willie, was more of a daddy to me than my father ever was. He worked in computers at an energy company, Digicon, and DJ'd on the side. He knew how to play the game. He was always on the hustle, drying weed in the closet and doing whatever he had to do to help us get by. My cousin is Johnny Nash. His big record is I Can See Clearly Now, and he recorded reggae in Jamaica and wrote with Bob Marley. My grandma Rosemary was a gospel singer. She was always singing in the house and she had an angelic voice. When she sang, it sounded like opera. And then there were my uncles. I had a lot of them, and they were always around fidgeting with something and making music. I spent a lot of time over at my grandma's house growing up. And when everybody would take smoke breaks, I would go fumble around and play the instruments. I was a product of that environment. I think the first language I learned to speak was music. My grandfather was named Wayne. He wasn't a trained musician, but he taught himself guitar. He was one of the first black master plumbers in Texas. And if you ask anybody in my neighborhood, they'll tell you he was a bad motherfucker. He was tough as nails and strong as hell. He could hit you so hard it'd make you piss. He also always kept a gun, and he would not hesitate to bring that pistol out and put it on your ass. My grandma don't take no shit either. She's Fifth Ward born and bred and hard as a sledgehammer. She's still alive as this book goes to print, and even today, at 86, she still doesn't play. We were like our own little colony over there in South Acres on the south side of Houston, Texas. My mama was the second oldest of my grandparents' 9 kids, and she was 21 when she had me. I was born on November 9th, 1970. The firstborn grandson, which made me kinda like my grandma's last child, her 10th. Because she raised me. My mama was more like a sister to me. I didn't see her as much as I saw my grandma. She would come pick me up from my grandma's house and take me to her house, but I was always bored over there. I preferred being at my grandma's house on Holloway. I had 3 aunts, Joey, Jean, and Marva, and I had 5 uncles, Eddie, Eric, Shine, Rodney, and Wayne. My uncles were always getting into something. There was always something going on at Grandma's house, and there was always something to learn. When I first started showing interest in music, my Aunt Marva turned me on to Steel Pulse and Andreas Vollenweider, and Aunt Joey put me up on George Duke and Stanley Clarke. But it was my uncles who taught me things. They could tell I was in love with it, even at an early age. My Uncle Eddie bought me my first electric guitar when I turned 8. I learned how to play it upside down because my whole family is left-handed, including me. When my uncle finally started stringing it up right, I had to take lessons to learn how to play it the right way. Years later, I would get Uncle Eddie to play on my records. He's bad on the bass. and he always knew how to find the most incredible grooves. My first love was rock. That's what they played at my grandma's house, and that's what I grew up jamming. Rock and soul. It was kind of like what you might think of as R&B today, but they didn't call it that back then. It was music for your soul. The first album I ever owned was Boston's Boston. My mama bought it for me. The second album I ever owned was the Kiss Dynasty album. I was 8 years old when it came out in the spring of 1979, and I wanted that album so badly I cried about it. Willie whipped my ass pretty good over it too, because I gave my mama such a hard time. But I loved Kiss. That was the band I most wanted to be like when I was a kid. I thought their whole shit was hard. With the face paint and everything, they were my childhood idols. I remember they toured that album that same year, and I begged and begged to go to the show, but my parents wouldn't let me. 20 years later, I got to see Kiss 3 times in Los Angeles at the Great Western Forum. I called my mama and told her that it was well worth the wait. The first concert I ever went to was Earth, Wind & Fire at the Miller Outdoor Theater. Chaka Khan was there too. I was super young and I don't remember too much about it, but I know it was raining. We were close to the stage, and they jammed like a motherfucker. I saw Bootsy Collins, George Clinton, and Parliament not too long after that, and between those 2 shows, I knew I wanted to make music. I knew I wanted to be a performer.